Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, my friends, we are diving back into Call of Duty Warzone, and we're doing something a bit different. Something I see you guys ask about a lot is, Zach, can you do like a gameplay breakdown? Zach, can you tell us like what you're looking at when you're playing games, how you approach certain engagements, how you approach rotations, all sorts of stuff like that. So today, that is exactly what we're doing. We've got a gameplay here that was actually from a live stream a few days back. If you don't follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/WhosImmortal. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna break this gameplay down. This gameplay is kind of all over the place. It starts off really awkward and it ends just in an absolutely crazy, super hectic fashion. Very, very fun end zone. So we're gonna go through my thoughts, my whole process behind how we're rotating, how we're playing, how we're engaging, all sorts of stuff like that. So if you enjoy the video, if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't already subscribed, we are always covering the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, and pretty much everything else going on in COD. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you can stay up to date with all of that. But as you guys can see here, we are dropping in the Superstore. I was able to find a heartbeat sensor, which is like the #1 priority if we're dropping into Super. If you can get a heartbeat sensor, you're kind of golden. You can look left and you'll probably see the vast majority of the left side of the store. You can look right and do the same thing. Lazy unfortunately goes down here, but he's able to get off that hard ping, so I know right where that guy's gonna be. It's a pretty easy pre-fire, pretty easy knock. We're able to get that cleanup. And like I said, because I have this heartbeat sensor, I pretty much have all bases covered here. I know exactly where people are gonna be on the left, where they're gonna be on the right. That is absolutely crucial if you're landing here. And when it comes to ground loot too, of course, you want to go for those better guns. The M16 is not bad, but also it is a burst weapon. So inside of Superstore, it can be a bit awkward. Primarily what I'm looking for here is the FFAR and then also the Bullfrog. I don't know what it is, but the Bullfrog this season for the ground loot is just pristine. I love the thing. It is super, super easy to use. It's got a great ADS time. It's very quick, very mobile, very agile. And honestly, it hits pretty good too. Like it's honestly a pretty strong weapon. So those are primarily what I'm looking out for. But if I can get an XM4 and an FFAR or, you know, even a Milano and FFAR, so long as I have that FAMAS on the setup, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good. And as you guys can see, we land here. Unfortunately, it is bugged. I don't think there were any plates on the ground because that whole issue was still going on, at least it was when this gameplay took place. But we end up coming out. We got a ton of money. Lazy ends up winning his ghoulies, so we're all fine. We're all dandy there. We're looking good. I got 8,400 bucks. Jordan's got 5,900 or espresso. Lazy's got some. And then also we're playing with Matt, another friend of ours. And I'll leave a link to everybody else down in the description below. But like I said, this gameplay is a weird one, and as you guys will see as we get further on into the gameplay, we start off here, we're doing all right. Lobby's only got 120 up, and we don't even have Zone 1 rolling in yet, so it's kind of dying off relatively quickly. That's something we're always paying attention to. Zone 1, end of Zone 1 as it's moving in. If we have 90 or 100 up, we know it's going to be a good lobby. We can probably get a nice like 50, 60 kills as a squad. If it's looking like 65, 70 into Zone 1, it's probably not a great lobby. A lot of players died off of spawn, so that would be considered a dead lobby in that case. But there's a lot of different things we're looking to right off the rip. Obviously, we're paying attention to the actual plane's pathing, where we're jumping off of, because that's going to sort of indicate some rotations. We're paying attention to how many players are jumping out and when in the plane, because you'll always get that number in the top right whenever the plane is flying in. You'll be able to see, oh, 40 players just dropped right above Superstore. It's probably going to be pretty hot. And then also, of course, just the general zone here. As you guys can see, it's going up and to the right here. This entire left side of the map is cut off. We don't have Boneyard. We don't have Airport where we're looking here. But we see a new squad up here. We see one's above us, one's on our level, then one's beneath, and one's actually outside. So this squad is pretty split up. It shouldn't be a bad engagement. I'm able to come in here with my FFAR, pick off the first guy. That second guy completely surprises me. He busts through the door as I'm losing aim assist on the guy who's on the ground. I got a self though. It's a pretty easy trade there. Matt comes in, he swoops up, gets the easy kill, and I'm able to get up. I don't have to burn myself either, which is always nice. Of course, this is no secret by now, but if you have that self-revive, you can start it. Your teammates can come and tap you. It'll pick up right where your self left off, and you can save your self-revive. That's always another priority. If anybody ever goes down in a gunfight and they have self, start it. We can come over, we can tap them, get the easy res, the quick res. We're right back in the action. But again, a pretty easy fight. When you see that players are split like that, one's outside, one's above, they're on all different levels. Typically, you can come in if you're splitting as like we usually do with the squad. You guys can see Jordan, Matt, and I are together. Lazy's off by himself or over on the left side. It's not a bad engagement. We can push in. We know one guy's on our level, 2v1 there, easy wipe. If one of us goes down, that's a pretty easy trade most of the time. So there's a lot of different factors. Of course, every gunfight's going to be different, but so far the game's not really too difficult. I've only got 2 kills. There's 112 up, so we went from 120 to 112 very slowly there. That's usually an indication of players are pretty spread out at this point. A lot of players dropped in the same spot, and that's why the lobby count went down from 140 or 150 to 120 so fast. But obviously, we're pushing a new team here. We've got these guys at hangars. They're calling in a loadie, so presumably they're not geared. However, these guys that are right on it probably just got their loadouts. This guy I'm sort of just baiting and toying with, right? He obviously knows that I'm there. I know that he's there. I was hoping he'd push this because I could get a really, really easy angle on that. He runs through and I can just beam him as he runs to the door. Unfortunately, he doubles back to go and push Lazy. His teammates are probably calling out that they have a guy on them, and of course that guy is Lazy. He's able to come in, clean up one, down one. This guy jumps down, almost zooms right past me. Man went light speed from roof to ground there, but I'm able to break him. It's an easy push for Lazy. I call that he's 1 or 2 shot. Lazy gets an easy cleanup there. Now we're down to just a couple of guys in this squad. That guy, slowest reaction time on the planet. He stared at me, didn't shoot back when I'm pushing in that door, and I'm able to get an easy knock there. And then the second guy, it's just 2v1 there. He stands no chance, especially when I think Lazy had a MAC 10 and I got the FFAR. That's a deadly combo. If you got 2 players shooting at you at the same time with those weapons, I mean, that's a GG. Nothing good's gonna come out of that if you're on the receiving end. And then it's at this point where, all right, we've got money. We've sort of cleared out this area. There's not much going on this radar. We're gonna split up, take a couple of separate cars. You guys can see Matt's over on the far side of the radar here. He's got an ATV, I think it is. Lazy and I are in this one. Jordan's in a new one. And this is sort of how I've been approaching quads recently, is I'm trying to get better at this game. I'm trying to increase my KD and just sort of test myself to see what I'm capable of doing and trying to get better and trying to push myself. And I find that by doing squad splits and splitting off 2 and 2 or 2 and 1 and 1 or even 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 math. By splitting off, you're really able to test yourself and put yourself in pretty precarious positions, as you'll see here. Another very interesting fight coming up here. We got 2 guys split down in that left house. 1 guy's up here, so Lazy jumps out. He's going to take on the 2. I've got this guy up in here. I think he's initially in this right corner. This building always confuses me with how the sides are. Super unnecessary stun, but it's going to give me an easy kill here. This guy's stuck. He can't move. He can't escape. I got the FFAR close range. That's another GG easy gunfight. And that's why I run stuns as of late. I didn't at the start of the year. I didn't run stuns for so long. I was dead set on the heartbeats. But ever since I switched to stuns, I'm so much more confident. Now this situation coming up, I'm going to pause here. This situation coming up, shout out Throne, by the way, for the sub. But this is a very awkward situation. You guys can see, let's let the radar flash here again. So this guy's on my level up in the first house here. This guy in the back on this roof is actually sniping. Lazy's over here by this SUV, and he's calling out, hey, I'm getting sniped at from over yellow. That's these houses back here. So my first immediate reaction is to try and get this trade on the guy who's shooting at Lazy. Now, as I run up to IHOP here, the very top of this, I'm going to pause it right here. Take a peek at what's down in the bottom left there. That's a full-on alive player. He's just chilling out, Max, relaxed and all cool. My focus is not on him, though, unfortunately, and you'll see how that plays here in just a second. I've got my eyes set on this guy right here. So that entire time, Lazy's saying, hey, snipe on the roof back. Yellow, this guy's actually back on the red roof, but I'm focused on those red dots. I'm looking to try and take out the sniper, which I do. I get the easy knock, but then this guy who was on the roof that I blatantly and clearly missed rolls up. He's got Ghost. He's standing still. Wasn't on the radar. Obviously, if he's on the radar, that's probably a pretty easy kill. He pulls out the R9 with stopping power, and I just get blasted into oblivion. Man destroys me, so I'm in the gulag here, and we can actually just skip forward here a bit to where I'm actually fighting, because unfortunately, things don't go great here either. We started off the game, like I said, not the greatest, not the worst, very mediocre start. But then I get stomped by an R9, and then I get just thrashed in the gulag here with the AK-74U. This man hits his shots. He's got the nice heady there. Completely throws me off, and I'm into the spectator screen. Now, you might be saying, Zach, this is a trash start of a game. You're trying to break down and explain how to get more kills, how to get easier wins, how to approach engagements. Things get very interesting. As we can see here, Jordan's the last one up. To save you guys some time, he ends up getting taken out. It was like a 4v1 situation, but he's in the gulag here. This is going to be a pretty easy win from him. He's got the guy weak. The guy peeks mid. It's an easy wallbang kill. And now we're into the situation where we have to regain, and it's a one-person regain, which is probably one of the worst situations you can be put in. But Jordan's going to end up dropping back in here. We've got loadout still. He can come and grab. Now, he did get taken out in this area here over by Cop in that field. I think he was in hangar number 2 over there, but he's able to land down here, and somehow we get very fortunate that there's just money chilling on top of Cop. As you can see, he's got $2,300 now. So now our play is, well, we're halfway to 1 buy. How can we make the most out of this? Because obviously, if we can get back in this, we're going to be in a decent position. We have the supply run next to us, and basically, I think initially, if you don't have any contracts prior to the supply run, you get $1,400. So Jordan's got $2,300. If we can get another $1,400 out of that, we can get another buy off of that supply run, sort of a 2-for-1 situation, if you will. So we get the free buy off of that supply run. Chances are one of us is going to come back with some money, and then we can actually end up getting another buy off of that. But we run in here. There's some cash on the ground. We get a legendary crate, and he gets a self-revive. The streamer loot, you love to see it. But now he's got $5,300. We got the supply run active. We got the Bertha. And by the way, we're pretty much never going for supply runs unless There's either 2 of us coming in when we have someone floating in the air, someone dropping down to the ground to grab the supply run. The floater will go and land on it. We get another buyback. Or there's a vehicle in a close proximity to the buyback because typically they spawn 300, 400, 500 meters away from you, and you can't run that in like a minute and a half, minute 45, whatever the actual time is. You always want to go for one that has a vehicle right next to it, or you can just float to it off of the gulag if you already have somebody on the ground. But that's pretty much the play here. We get lucky with the cash, so we're able to actually get a 3-for-1 out of this, or I think actually all 4. $6,500, the 1,000 off of this. I'm going to come back with money. Whoever else Jordan buys back is going to come back with money. We can actually skip ahead to that rather than just watching him drive over to this. He's going to end up buying us all back here. And now we're in full regain mode. So there's a couple steps to this. And as you guys can see, 63 up. This is a dead lobby at this point. It's zone 2. Half the lobby's gone. I've got a whopping 4 kills. Again, Zach, what are we doing here? Why are we breaking down this gameplay? You'll see. Things get spicy. Again, I'm going to spare you the time. We landed the planes here. There's nothing going on. We just run through an open field. We've got our bounty here, though, who's up in the hotel area. This is a super, like, just annoying area on the map in general because you have that giant hotel building. That's the call for it, at least the apartments, whatever you want to call it. That building, I hate with a passion, man. The pushes to that building are so annoying. Obviously, we've got one here. We've got one over by Superstore as well, where the one by usually spawns over by the graveyard area. But the problem with these buildings is the fact that there's 2 pushes to the entire place. The door on the left and the door on the right, which is preceded by a huge staircase. So if anybody's chilling on top, like, what do you know? This team is, which I get a lucky down on that, puts some pressure on them. They're going to have to back off for a second and go and revive. But if there's a team up top there, it's a tough push. You have to try and time it well, and you'll see as we're going to push this here in just a moment, you have to time it well, you got to play it well, and you got to play it as a team. If you're trying to push this by yourself, your back's against the wall. It's a near impossible push most of the time, especially if the team up top is the least bit competent. If they know what they're doing, you're probably not going to have a great time. But you guys can see Matt's already up there pushing up. He ends up getting a cleanup in the kill feed there. My play now is I'm calling out Matt. I'm trying to push up this side. You got to give me time, though, because I'm on the stairwell. He unfortunately gets knocked, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get finished here. But I got to take this whole trek up the stairwell before I'm even ever able to engage. Lazy's going up the other side now, saying, Zach, we'll push it at the same time. I'm sitting here waiting for him. So, of course, you guys don't hear the exact callouts here, but I'm waiting for him to push this. He's going to let me know right as he gets up. I do hear footsteps above me, so I know a guy's close. I see the C4. I'm backing off, and this is where the mind games come in. So, I blow it up, and I have an unsilenced FFAR ground loot. The guy who planted that C4, whoever that person is, he's gonna know I'm there, right? Obviously, he's got full situational advantage on me. He knows that I am now on this level. He knows that I'm beneath him. He knows that I had a clear side of a C4, so he can only assume that I'm in this hallway. My initial thought here now is, okay, this guy knows I'm here. He's gonna be looking for me. He's gonna be waiting for this push. Obviously, it's a one-way push at this point from this side of the building. He knows exactly where I'm at. He knows where I'm coming from. I gotta be ready. I turn the corner, boom. I'm ready for that gunfight. He doesn't have armor somehow. I guess that's what you get for ratting on top of this building, but he doesn't have armor. I'm able to clean him up, knock him down. Lazy pushes the other side at the exact same time. Chances are, because I was a tad bit earlier than Lazy on that push, the teammate on that side ends up actually turning, looking at the guy that I just knocked, waiting for me to push out. Lazy then pushes in the back, cleans up that kill. It's a nice team push. We end up getting the pinch there, and the guy I kill gives me an FFAR and a Car 98K. Also, I'm not in full screen here. There we go. He gives me an FFAR and a Car 98K. One of the most popular loadouts in the game. I get a nice snipe on this guy because he's running that's just a basic car snipe. You love to see the car one-shots. It's just so satisfying. But anyways, this loadout here, one of the most popular in the game, and this guy actually knew what he was doing with his loadouts. There are times when I pick up a gun and I'm like, brother, what are you using on this thing? They'll have a thermal sight on it with a regular suppressor and like a Merc foregrip on a weapon that has no recoil. There's some weird setups out there, to say the least. This guy, though, luckily, he's competent. He knew what he was doing. He's got the cross-thread reticle in the car. I get a nasty little hit marker on that guy there. And this guy's going to push up to the tree. He's going to lay prone to try and heal up. I can see his legs sticking out. Easy knock there. We have full position on this team. We absolutely have the advantage here. They have zone rolling in from the back. They're on a wide open hill that has nothing but open space to cross up in front of us, and we're posted on a hill where we pretty much have what I like to say is infinite reses. If we get knocked here, we can crawl back over the lip and actually just get reses over and over and over again. Lazy ends up calling out that there's a guy close. Easy kill. I'm not actually sure how that guy got knocked, but if we scroll back here, let's go 10 seconds back. Let's watch this engagement. We've got 15 teams up, 42 players alive. Pay attention as we get this finish. That team count doesn't go down, and that's another thing I want to point out real quick because this is a huge thing to pay attention to in game. We get that kill, the team count does not go down. If that guy doesn't have gulag, that team count drops to 13 there. Since it doesn't, we can assume either he has Gulag, which is a fair assumption, or he's a part of a team that's nearby. Probably this team, and somehow he made it across. Maybe he was ahead of them before they even pushed up to where we could see them. But we know that this guy has friends in the vicinity, most likely. 9 times out of 10, that's probably the situation. So we can anticipate more action here, and that we're not fully in the clear quite yet. I think I just saw Rover over there on the map, or I saw something over there that could be his teammates as well. But end of the day, we know he's not a full wipe. He's got friends. Jordan throws the cluster over here as sort of like a last resort, and I believe he actually ends up picking up a kill here. Yeah, he does right there. He ends up wiping the guy with the cluster. Not something you see every day, but we were fortunate enough that he actually ends up cleaning up the last guy on that squad, so that's that problem solved. We can move on to the next. Anyways, before that engagement happened, I'm kind of all over the place. Before that engagement happens, we're talking about this loadout. This guy's got the FFAR, this guy's got the car. I can't tell his full FFAR loadout here, but it looks like Agency Suppressor, which is, of course, a W. Field Agent Grip, W. I believe Reinforced Heavy, W. 50 round fast mag, you love to see it. And then I want to say it's Raider stock. It could be combat. I'm not fully sure based off of the image in the bottom right there, but I believe it's Raider based off the strafe speed, because I do occasionally miss shots when I use Raider because it's a bit faster. I'm going to go with that, but this is a great setup. I get lucky that this guy actually has some good ground weapons that I can pick up, or good loadout weapons rather, that I can pick up off of his body, and then pretty much play out the game with this. Obviously here we've got money. I'm in desperate need of armor, so I get some armor for myself, drop the rest of my money. Now once again, we're playing position. We know the zone's coming in. We're gonna have a new zone that's now gonna force anybody out, probably on this right side because of just how the zone played out at the start. Usually if this top side of the map, or any top side of the map, is covered with a large part of the zone, it's gonna slowly but surely rotate up to that side. It's exactly what happens here. Stadium is now knocked out. We see the red dot on the right side. We're already assuming there's players coming from this right side of the map. Downtown is usually a very, very hot rotation point from anybody coming over from Hospital, Superstore, Promenade. You got so many different areas that downtown is a rotation from. So if you ever have a zone up here, anticipate a lot of players coming from that right side. That's exactly what we do here. We know we've got some players down towards the right, towards what we like to try and call the chicken coop area. We call that loadout there chicken. Don't ask me why, it just sort of happened. We've also, however, got a squad over here. 2 squads over here. The one on the orange ping that I pinged, which is in a yellow house. Then also another team on the other side of the bridge that is on that buy station there. We can assume that these 2 teams are fighting each other, and both of them are not in a super great position on this zone. Obviously, half of that yellow house on that orange ping there is out of the zone, so they're going to be forcing that left side here. And that other side, they're going to have to rotate. It's very unlikely that this zone is going to end up staying where it's at. So we've got both of these teams in a position where they're not really going to be great after this zone closes in. So I'm sitting here basically just looking for information. I pushed this fight, not anticipating any kills, right? Both of these teams have infinite reses. They're in a house, so unless we push that, we're not going to get those cleanups. Chances are, if they're already posted in a house, they're going to have claymores or people watching the doors. Team on the other side, they've got cover for days on that buy station. If they have money, they can just buy them right back. Now, you'll notice here, I'm going to pause it. When I zoom in on this side of the map, sniper glint. Sniper glint. I'm not sure if you saw it, but there's also another sniper glint right down to the right there. At that point, I'm going, okay, this isn't a great situation. I'm not super comfortable with this engagement, right? I've got 3 snipers looking straight at me. We are split 2 and 2. Lazy and Matt are over here fighting that team coming up from chicken. Jordan and I are here. I'm not sure what guns Jordan has here. So I'm sitting here saying, well, let's try a peek. I have the infinite reses here. I've got the wall. They're not going to insta finish me. I'm able to get the first knock. That guy breaks my armor. I knock him. All the pressure is now on this team. Despite me being no armor, no health, because I get 2 knocks, this team is going into panic mode. They're in scatter mode. They're going for those reses immediately, especially because they're on that rooftop. There's a chance I actually am able to get that cleanup there. The reason I don't necessarily try and force that cleanup is just because if there is a 4th sniper looking at me that I don't know his position, he could easily knock me. And then we're basically back to even ground here. They're not really pressured. We're not really that pressured because we have easy reses here. We're all just reviving at that point. So that's why I don't immediately push for the finish. Now, as I'm fighting this team, this rover's in my sight the whole time. I'm glancing up and down between the minimap and obviously where those players are rotating. You guys saw them all scatter off of that building there. This team is presumably a new team. We know we still have these guys in yellow. I would have seen them move out if they were. So this is just absolutely me trying to put some pressure on these guys. I get the lucky knock. That shot is just straight up. I shot. I'm lucky that I got the hit. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as Michael Scott the Great once said. But yeah, I'm able to knock him out of the back seat. I love when players drive in the front and the back seat, or ride in the front and back seat rather, because if you're shooting at that car, especially with a snipe, and you're aiming at that front seat, chances are you're gonna knock somebody if you're getting a headshot there, whether you shoot towards the front or the back, just because the bullet lead and the bullet travel time. Floater obviously lands in there. That's an easy kill. No idea what that guy was trying to accomplish by landing in that area. There's no guns, there's no loot here, and I'm there posted up. Easy kill. I appreciate the KD boost there, brother. But now, obviously, the attention is focused on this team that's coming up from chicken. Lazy and Matt weren't able to get full visual on them as they rotated up, so now we're just here to team shot. I get the one shot with the car, weaken him, and I believe Lazy ends up cleaning him up here. That team on the far side of the bridge isn't really a huge concern at this point, primarily because they don't really have a great angle here. Obviously, this zone is pushing them way left, so they have a terrible cross there. It's incredibly stupid if they try and challenge that because they're going to get our attention to them now, and if they're crossing that, that's nothing but a frozen river and open hills. So I'm not worried about them. I assume they're already gone left past Firehouse. They're probably rotating up left. What I am worried about, though, is this whole team that was Yellow House that I somehow never saw despite being on the bunker when they're 25 meters away from me. Never was shot at once, never fired a shot at them. This guy's floating in. I think I get a lucky break on him. Don't kill him, unfortunately, but at least I broke his armor. But yeah, going back to this team, I know they're here somewhere. We call on a UAV, and this is pretty much the saving grace here. We get the UAV, we get the information. They're both beneath me. They both have to push up to me, so I back off a bit, get a little bit more cover between the rocks and the leaves there. I know this guy's a sniper down here. Jordan's already looking right. He's calling out that this guy's up to the right, and then I'm able to push him and focus him as well because he put himself in a terrible position right there in the middle of nowhere. If I was that guy, I'd probably try and run up this road and hug this rock wall that I'm standing on top of right now. Then maybe I don't get such a good angle on him. And then this guy down here, he's pretty much in like what I like to call no man's land. This is wide open hills. He doesn't really have much cover, and zone is now moving in off of 5th zone. I flushed him once, not sure how that wasn't a kill. He must have been absolutely full, and I hit like an extremity, but he immediately has to repush because zone is on him. I'm able to get the easy cleanup there. The problem that team made there, the mistake that team made, was that they waited too long to rotate. They had an opportunity while we were fighting that guy coming up the mountain here to our left from chicken. We had all our focus on that team that was across the bridge. They could have tried to rotate out and get under me there. They made a lot of mistakes there, being too patient and just waiting too long, and then it ultimately cost them because I'm able to turn around and then just hold them against zone. Personally, I think they could have played that a lot better. We didn't necessarily play that great either. We were very tunnel visioned on that team across the bridge. That team just played it worse than us. Again, we're fighting a new team here now, and this is where things pick up. You guys saw I had like, what, 4 kills with 60 left? I'm up to 12 now based off these last couple engagements with 21 left. And again, we've got a bounty in this direction. We know he's going to have to rotate in with zone. Our team is sitting pretty nice here. We've got these buildings on lock. We got a king back left who's probably up towards the Jurassic area. And then obviously I'm fighting a team here at gas. So my point again here, my focus here is to get as much information on player whereabouts as possible. I know that there's a guy in gas. It's a rose skin that I just broke armor on. I'm just trying to look out for players. I see one here. His buddy pops around the corner, says, hey, hi, how you doing? I break armor on one, tag armor on another. I got at least 3 players whereabouts right now. So I call over Jordan. I say, hey, focus this real quick. We got players over here. At that point, I believe a 3rd player shot me. We saw the 2 guys, the ghillie suit and I think the rose skin, were just outside of that hut door where I'm looking right now. I think I got sniped from by that wood fence or maybe the haystack again. Either way, I'm telling Jordan, we got 3, maybe 4. I always try and anticipate more because you're going to play that differently. I'd rather overestimate than underestimate in that situation. So I'm telling Jordan, hey, watch that. We got 3 players, maybe 4 players rotating up. He's got the hold there, though, out of zone. Unfortunately, Matt goes down here, but I've also got this king back here. And I'm saying, well, if we all push up too far to focus this team on the right over by the gas station, this guy, if he's a solo, can end up coming up late and trying to hold us all against this edge of the zone, which is not ideal because it's so open. A new team comes in the left here, and obviously that king won, so he's got his friends back at this point, and Jordan goes down. My back is entirely up against the wall. This guy pushes up. I get the easy kill on him because he's a solo, doesn't have armor, hit the headshot, whatever the deal was. This is the team that I believe just shot at me. They're trying to rotate in for position on those houses. That guy, not quite sure what he was focused on, but I was paying attention to the fact that he was looking into gas. So I'm kind of curious to see if he's sitting there trying to hold somebody else in zone, if he's just absolutely clueless and was walking backwards trying to get his reverse speed increased. No idea what the man was doing. Jordan, though, somehow was able to not get finished. He crawls back to me. At this point, we now know, hey, there's at least 2 or 3 over in this squad that's over in those houses. They're posted up. They have great positioning. And we also have this king that was back here on this left side of the map that also probably has decent positioning. One guy lands down and tries to push over to us. Jordan's able to clean him up. We don't really know where this guy's friends are that were from that king. We can assume they're on this left side. So again, just going off of information that we had before that we can assume is still decently correct. We know he was on that left side of the map. So we got to assume he didn't run through this entire field because we probably would have seen that, or this team over here would have shot at him. So we can assume this guy's probably on this left side of the map. So I'm kind of looking in this area, trying to scout and scan, see if I can see any movement. When I ADS here, I see him. He's wearing a bright red skin. He's sitting back behind this hut. He tries to rotate out at the wrong time. I'm able to get a lucky tag on him. This team then gets in the Bertha, and as we find out here in a moment, this is actually the same team. That guy and the Bertha guy were on the same team because he doesn't finish him here. I think he tried to play for cover, but the guy wasn't able to fully rotate out and get cover to that guy who was on the ground that I knocked. So he kind of just leaves him, and now the Bertha is focusing attention on us. And this is where things get very scary. A Bertha in end zone is trouble because it's hard to knock players out of Berthas, and they have a huge hitbox when it comes to running you over. So I'm hoping it's weak, and I throw my nades. I like throw them further out in front so he runs into them. It disables that car. He jumps out, and I'm able to knock him. But the second Bertha comes into play. It knocks Jordan, and I can't get Jordan. I'm telling him immediately, hey, I can't grab you. He's going to reverse and back up into both of us. That's a no-go for both of us, but he gets out. He finishes Jordan, unfortunately. Now it's a 1v1, actually. The Bertha guy has all the advantage here because he's got the great positioning of he can go wherever he wants with really strong cover, and he can move as he pleases with really strong cover. That guy focuses me, but then immediately focuses the Bertha. Again, weird play from this guy. He has a much better position in zone. He's got cover on this tree. He's got cover on this truck. And if I hit him, he could very easily run into this house too and try and hold that. But this Bertha gets out back here. I assume he immediately tries to turn around and focus that Bertha because it got out rather than sticking on me. But the fact that he doesn't focus on me gives me that slight edge where I can turn around, shoot him in the back, and get that one shot. He doesn't know that I have no armor. I have no cover in my push up to this house here. He could have held me, and unless I get a really, really good snipe, or I stun him and hopefully get some nice shots, I'm probably dead. He has a super easy hold on me, but because he shifts his focus there to the player who has a better position, I get the easy kill. And now it's a 1v1. This guy comes up with the Bertha. He parks back here. Obviously, he's out of it, so he's probably in one of these two buildings. That's what I'm assuming there. I'm thinking this one just because it has the positioning. I know the jump spot up to that because of that barrel, so I can get on the roof. I was really hoping if I peeked the roof, he'd be sitting back there just sort of chilling, but at this point, I hear him in here. He runs up the stairs. Luckily, I'm able to see him. He was a rose skin, so he blended in very easily there, but I've got the full armor now because the guy I kill. I'm able to clean him up with the FFAR, easy close range engagement, and we get the dub. A lot of stuff happened in that game that was very, very awkward just because of how we were positioned, where the enemies were, and just our numbers. We were split a lot, or teammates were dead, and it was a lower number situation where we were fighting up. Using that knowledge that we have from where players are located last, using our team counts, all sorts of stuff like that, you can factor in a lot of different things and sort of piece together information as you're playing to hopefully give you an idea of how to approach things, how to engage things, and all sorts of stuff like that. Luckily, I was able to sort of be like the one-man wrecking crew there after Jordan gets taken down by that Bertha, but things just played out in a way where I was able to sort of predict how these guys were going to play, just based off of the information that I was learning from where they were on the map and where they were focusing their attention. And that, I think, ultimately led to why I was able to actually clutch up here and bring home the W for the squad. Overall, though, I thought this was a super entertaining gameplay. Obviously, we hit some nasty snipes with a loadout that wasn't even mine. That's another factor in this, too. I got lucky in the fact that I got an FFAR and I got a car that was actually good. I did end up switching to my loadout with my car, or my FFAR rather, and I kept the car that I had from the guy that was on top of hotel earlier. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, though. Obviously kind of a different thing from what we normally do. If you guys want to see more videos like this in the future where I take a gameplay that I got and we break it down, I watch it back with you guys and sort of explain, hey, I'm doing this at this point, I'm looking out for this at that point. If that's something you guys want to see, let me know by dropping a like on this video or leaving me a comment down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with pretty much everything going on in COD, news, intel, updates, you name it, it's all right here. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. Once again, and as always, thanks so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.